know, I thought it was going to be a clean race. Very quiet. First couple of stages, 22 laps to go, turn it up. We did, in fact, get the big one. It all started when Jimmie Johnson got sideways. It was on from there. 14 drivers involved. Let's hear from some of those, starting with the 7-time champ.
It looks like Willie may have gotten tight and was leaving the bottom at a good rate of speed up into the second lane, and we didn't make contact, but just the change in air pressure just turned me sideways, and around we went.
I just saw the 48 spin. I don't know what happened to cause that, but we lost our track position there and couldn't seem to get it back there on that last restart. So that was a bummer, but that's the brakes here.
I spotted a tire, I had to come back in, got 2 laps down, and got back 1 lap, and then finally got on a lead lap, and then we wrecked. So this wasn't our weekend, but the cars were extremely fast. All the Fords were fast, like we knew they would be, and it's just a weird race. It really was, from single file stuff to get them bunched back up, and no tires. I mean, there's a lot of different scenarios out there, and it just wasn't our day.
The 24 got moved up, 48 was coming down, and they stopped, and I got in at 24. Well, it kind of all came together right there. So, we got shuffled back, and it's so hard to make up ground. We got the bottom rolling again pretty decent, and just ran out of real estate, I guess.
Okay, let's go next level with the big one. 22 to go, 14 drivers involved in this one. And the interesting thing about it is it wasn't even set off by contact between 2 drivers, the 48 and the 24. Walk me through exactly what happened here, Larry.
Well, I think 22 laps to go, the intensity level was certainly starting to pick up, but it's going to involve these 2 teammates right here, William Byron in the 24 car and Jimmie Johnson in the outside on the 48 car. Jimmie Johnson had gotten a really good run down the back straightaway, and he moved to the outside of his teammate. And what's going to happen, it was almost worst case scenario for Jimmie Johnson in the 48 car. AJ, these cars were loose all day long without anybody at their left rear.
Yeah, in practice, I was sliding around. So as we see William on the outside, or on the inside, Jimmie on the outside, it's just he's close enough that William's car gets tight, it looks like. He gets off the yellow line, it gets light. He gets in the left rear, just misses it, but right against it. And because of that, because these cars were so light, Jimmie Johnson gets loose as he slides up, gets down the racetrack, and the wreck happens behind him.
And when this happens, Daytona, Talladega, you're in a pack, and that means one car going around creates the big one. You were involved, but you almost missed this thing, AJ.
Right here, I see daylight. I'm like, yes. Clint Boyer says, no soup for you. You're crashing if I'm crashing. That's what happens.
You on your own there, spotter helping you out.
He's telling me go low, and I'm just seeing dirt and grass and just praying at that point.
Yikes. Denny Hamlin sneaks through as well, and a couple of other guys that just barely make it through there.
Yeah, you think about Brad Keselowski right there in the 2 car. He won one of the stages. Paul Menard won the other stages. Both of those drivers were involved. But here they are right here. You can see as we get near the end of the backstretch how far behind Jimmie Johnson. But to my point earlier, he gets that good run at the end of the back straightaway and goes to the outside of William Byron in the 24. And right there, you saw William Byron kind of dip down and catch the apron, but look how far the 24 car is off the bottom compared to Stenhouse, compared to Menard, and these other cars. His car was either tight or it was just walking up the racetrack because of air.
Yeah, and it just, at that point, I mean, he doesn't touch Jimmie Johnson. It just gets him light enough that he gets loose. But the biggest thing is here is we can see the 11 car and the 18 car. They're on the outside, and what happens is they start to wreck. All the race cars go up the racetrack, and then it's self-cleaning. They come back down. Ooh, Danny.
I don't know how close you could come that Denny Hamlin came right there and not get hit.
Got to that point and just basically closed his eyes and was like, oh, and I'm through. Okay.
But I thought Boyer was going to get through in the 14. He barely gets clipped, and that's what creates that big moment for Hamlin. And here we are with you.
I'm like, yeah, oh, and then I said some words at that point that I can't say now. That'll probably be on radioactive on Tuesday.
Yes, we probably will. Why was it handling such an issue this weekend?
I think it was just a perfect storm. It was a little bit warmer than we expected. In Friday practice, everybody's so nervous to wreck their primary car now. I think the biggest pack we saw was 15, 18 cars. Nobody really wants to get out there. And on top of it, we had a ton of rain on Thursday. We had weepers all weekend, so I felt like that made the track just that little bit slicker. And just this low ride height package, it was the perfect storm.
Yeah, the no ride height package, these teams, these crew chiefs, they could make the cars drive better, but you're going to take speed out of the car. And that's a fine line between taking speed out and having it drive perfectly for the driver.